So far we have seen what is variable in Python and different data types in Python, and also we have seen the different operators like arithmetic operators, logical operators, membership operators. We have seen, right, so far in the previous videos. So now I would like to cover one more fundamental concept is called inbuilt functions and methods that are available in Python. Inbuilt, not user defined or not programmatically. I mean, not defined by the user, right? Inbuilt function inbuilt functions and methods that are as part of the Python, right? I mean, the reason why I'm covering this here, because going forward, we'll be dive deep into the concept, concept called strings, right? And also list and also tuple, and we have dictionary, dict, it's a shortcut word in Python, and what we call set. So to dive deeping into these particular data structures or the data types, it is very much important to understand what are functions and methods. That's why I thought of covering it here itself, right? So to start with, right, I'll try to explain some real world analogy. From that, we can link that particular concept to the programming side. Okay, let's say if you have a chair, okay, chair in your home, okay, and also table, table, also wall where you want to fix the photo frame, want to put photo frame, okay, frame, right? So so I mean, the reason for this chair, right, you want to fix something, fix it. Let's say it is shaking, you want to fix it, okay, and the table also same, the same issue is there, you want to fix it. To fulfill all these needs, right, to fulfill all these needs, I can go and get the hammer, right? I'll use the hammer, right? Using this hammer, I can fix this issue and fix this issue as well, and this issue as well. Why? Because the functionality hammer will work in such a way that it can be useful for this and this issue and this issue as well. So whenever we have that, whenever we have, Python also, whenever we want to use some functionalities, right, Python itself is providing some inbuilt functions. Okay, so that we call it as a function, right? And if one more pattern we have to observe, the chair is a different than table, right? Chair is a different object in the sense the thing. You can think of it like a real world thing. Okay, real world thing. So the chair is a different object from the table, and table is also different object from the wall, right? If you see, right, even though the things are different, the functionality is same, right? The hammer functionality is same. So that is where we call it as a function, okay, in Python, right? What happens in the sense, right? Remember I told you, right, in Python everything is an object. Everything is an object. What it means is, let's say if you have age, if you set age equal to 8, this will be this will be auto assigned as an integer, right? Integer, right? So this int itself is an object, something like a chair or tool or something like a wall for the Python. If I put b is equal to 10.8, this is a float, right? This is a float, this is a different object. Okay, so we have everything is an object, right? So we have, so far we have seen int float and set, no, not set, int float string we have seen, right? Going forward we will see whenever the time comes, I will explain the flow, right? So just want to tell you that, right, everything is a one object. So whenever if there is an utility or the function, utility or a function that is available, common for all the objects, that we call it as a function. Okay, we will see the examples, but understand the concept first. That we call it as a function. Let me repeat it again. This is a int, this is a float. That can be one more thing can be string, right? String, right? So if you have any utility, if you have any particular functionality, the common functionality applicable for all, if we have that kind of function that is available in the Python, that we call it as a function. I'll give you an example, quick example here. For example, print, right? We've been seeing from starting of this particular series, right? Print, right? Whenever if I print A, that will be work for integer. If I print B, right? Print B, that will be work for float. If I print C, right? Even though the data types or the objects are different, it is working the same for all of the all of the objects, basically, all of the objects. Then print is called as a function. Print is a one such function, inbuilt function. Let me mention it specifically here. Inbuilt function. Inbuilt function. There are also user also can define function, which we'll see in going further. I mean, which we'll see in going further videos. But for now, let's focus on the inbuilt function. Print is an inbuilt function. Okay, I'll show you some more examples. But before that, what I want to show you is, what I want to explain is function. You get some clarity. What is function? And inbuilt function, I mean, right? And there is also a method concept. We'll talk about the method, right? Method, what it means is, let's say if you have an AC, okay, AC, let's say the AC is LG, okay, for this AC you will have one remote, right? And let's say the Samsung, I mean in your room, in another room, right, in your study room or in your bedroom, let's say you have some other company AC, let's say called Samsung, okay, and this will have one more remote. Okay, can you operate this AC with the LG remote? Not possible, right? It will not work. Same with Samsung also. Samsung remote cannot be worked with the LG. This is also not possible. So here, if you change the object, that will not the same utility or the same tool will not work, right? Even though it is also remote, it is also remote. This remote is very specifically created for this particular object. Correct. This particular object. This remote is specifically created for LG object. This remote is specifically created for the Samsung object. Correct. Similarly, in Python also, what we have is everything is an object. I told you, right? Under the object there is a class, right? So whatever the functions or I mean whatever the tools that is available specific to that particular object, right? Specifically developed for that particular object, then that is a method. Okay, so most of the people will confuse between what is a method and what is a function. I thought of emphasizing on this because most of the people also think that function and method are same, but there is a fundamental difference. This is a fundamental difference. Let me give you an example. For example, so far we have seen the string, right? String, correct? So string, there is a method called upper. What it will do is, whatever the string that you are giving it will convert it to the uppercase letter. Okay, but this will not work with integer. Int object, it will not work, or it will not work with the float, right? Similarly, we have a lot of methods very specific to the string data type. Lot of methods will have very specific to the string data type, which we'll talk more detail when we are talking about the string. Similarly with list also. List is a one more data type, right, in Python, which we have not covered yet. We'll cover in the going forward videos. So there also we'll have lot of methods which are very specifically created for the list. Inbuilt methods I'm talking about. Inbuilt methods. Inbuilt methods are already created for list. Lot of methods are there. I'll try to explain that whenever we are talking about the list. Similarly for dictionary also. Similarly for set also. There are different set of methods that are defined for each of these objects. And remember, whatever the methods that are working here, that might not work for the another data type. Another object, to be precise. So what are the methods that are there for this one? It will not work for the another data type. So that's a fundamental difference for the function and method. Function can be worked for the different objects in the Python, whereas the method will only work for that particular object, which is where that is instantiated. Okay, we will see the example now. Okay, here I have given some definitions which will be useful for your reference, and these are the functions, right? Inbuilt functions. The int is also inbuilt function, float also inbuilt function. Why? Because float can be applied on top of the integer, string, and the float numbers, right? str also one of the function that we have seen in earlier videos, right? And len also to get the length of that particular string, right? That is also one of the function. Max and min is also a function that are available, right? Let me show you the examples here. Okay, yeah, so here, right, for example, if I give the len of Python, what it will do, how many characters are there? 1 2 3 4, 5, 6, right? It will give the 6 because the length of Python is 6. So this same method will work for string, and the same method will work for list and tuple, all the things it will work, len. Okay, and there is a oh, there is a one more method, right? We already seen in earlier videos, but let me show it here again. There is a int. What will happens? Whatever the things that you are passing here, that will be converted into the integer format. If it is not supported, it will say not supported, but at least it will accept it. Okay, and what we have a pow, which means the power 5 power 3. We have seen in previous video, right, when we are talking about the operators, there is also a this one. Whenever we have double stars, that is also a power, but there is also one more function that is available for getting the power, right? These two are same. These two are same. It is up to you, like whatever you want to use it. If you want to use the double stars, it's 125. And if you want to use the function, this is how you can. So one advantage of function is you don't need to write the code for this logic. This is already given, right? What if we did not give the length? We have to create a code for this, for generating the length, right? There are some functions that are by default available. We can reuse that in our program whenever we do it, right? So this is of the power, and there is also one more method is called round, and this what will do is it will take the floating point, floating value, and it will try to round off the digits, number of digits after the decimal point, right? Here we have given this is the floating point, and we have given 3. So the output of this is after point it will only have the 3 digits. It will be round off till 3 digits after decimal. You can see here, right? This is the approximate value till 3 digits. Since we are given 3, it is round off till 3. Okay, and there are, like, these are only few. There are dozens of inbuilt functions that are available in Python, which we're gonna see whenever we are using it. Okay, let's say in going forward, if I'm using one inbuilt function, I'll shout out over there. This is a inbuilt function. Okay, and also remember this inbuilt function will be, I mean, not just inbuilt function, any keyword, right? Okay, we'll talk about those things when you're talking about the keywords. Right, they'll have separate notation. If it is a variable, it will be in this color, black color. If it is in green color, in the sense it is somewhat known to the Python, whether it can be a keyword or whether it can be an inbuilt function. Okay, so yeah, and one more example here. My score is one first variable, front score is the second variable, and if I want to take the maximum of this, right, I don't need to check with the condition like we have seen in the earlier video. We don't need to check it. Why? Because we already have one more inbuilt function called max. What it will give? It will give the max of given two numbers. Here also there is a one more function that is available, min. So min of these two values is, it will give the minimum of these two values, which is 87. So we don't need to check whether it is greater than this one, if it is greater than the less than, or that truth and all. We don't need to check it because we have max and min, right? If you want to, if I want to show the what is the minimum value or what is the maximum value, right, we can do it. And also one more method that is there, right? One more function, my bad, one more function that is there, that we call it as a bin. What it will do, remember we talked about the binary representation of the given integer value. So this will convert the integer value to the binary value. You can check it. The binary representation of 7 is 111. We can see, right, 111. Just ignore this 0b. It is only the representation of the binary. Apart from, we have to ignore whenever 0b coming, in the sense it's saying that it is in a binary format, right? So this 111 is the binary representation of 7, right? And the method, right, this is all about the function. We have, like I said, there are many inbuilt functions in Python which you can simply search in the internet, and or whenever I use it, right, whenever I use it, I'll try to explain over there itself. Inbuilt functions in Python, there are a lot of built-in functions. Right, we can simply see like what are all the things. Okay, whenever the time comes, I'll explain one by one. Okay, whenever I'm using it. Okay, there are a lot of functions. See, apps is one of them, and all in the left hand side you can see, right, and any is also one of them. ASCII, bin we have seen now, bool also we have used, bytes. There are many things, many inbuilt functions are there. Okay, evolve, filter, float, right? Whenever we do it, right, we'll see. ID also we have used, right? If you remember, to get the ID of that particular memory location, memory ID of that particular variable, ID also we have seen, right? Len also we have seen. So different inbuilt functions that are there in the Python. And when it comes to the when it comes to the methods, right? Methods, like we discussed, these methods are very much specific to the data type we are doing. Say, for example, we have given the string, right? String is equal to hello, st is equal to hello. If I convert that into the upper, st dot upper, this is the method. Okay, and one more thing, one more important thing, right? One more important thing. See, methods always will use the dot, dot upper. If it is like this, right? Object plus dot upper, if it is in this format, then this will be called as a method. Okay, but when you see for the print, right? Print or len, right? We are not using any dot here. Len, my bad, len. We are not using any dot here. We are just passing the things that are required into this brackets, right? Into this bracket or max, right? We are not doing like dot max, but here, whenever you're using the method, we have to use the dot. So for some objects, it might require arguments. For most of the things, it will not. I mean, it's up to you, like how we will design it. We'll talk about more when we are talking about the user defined function and all, right? But for now, just assume just understand that whenever the method is there, methods will be used in this way: object plus sorry, dot the method name, and object here also object dot method name, right? So this is how the methods will be there. We will see more methods when we are talking about the strings. Okay, when we are talking about the strings, probably next session, based on the strings only, there I'll show you different methods that are available for string. Okay, for now, right? For now, string dot lower, what it will do, string dot upper, let me execute it, it will be hello in capital letters, right? If I convert if this string will be, if I want to convert this string to lower, I will just execute string dot lower, right? There is a inbuilt method available for upper and lower, right? There are more also available. We'll talk about whenever in the next video probably, right? And an exercise for these functions and methods, I just want you to practice of assigning the two float numbers called into the x and y, and apply the round up to that particular float number till two decimals and print the smallest number. Okay, this is very simple exercise, right? But still, if you are new to the programming world, I recommend you to do it yourself on your own, right? That is where you will slowly habituate towards writing the program. Okay, even though it looks simple, I'll still recommend you to practice it. And there is one more problem: assign two strings. Okay, one string to the x and one string to the y, and print which has the highest characters. We need, we can assign any string to the x and any string to the y, and what we want to print, you have to print automatically based on the length of the character. Let's say x is having the more characters, you have to print the x. If y is having the more characters, you have to print the y. Okay, you have to do that kind of try to do that kind of problem, right? Just try to involve it. That would be enough, I believe, right, for this chapter. Okay, we'll see you in the next video. We'll be talking about the strings. Thank you.